Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for September 20th to the 26th of 2020. So we have a busy fall equinox week. This is the season of balance. This is so delicious. And I'm trying a little tactic here because there's noise in my background. So you may also catch a little background music right now. Got my sacred drums going by David and Steve Gordon. So this is an experiment. We'll see if it works. But there's a pool party outside my window, and I don't want that in the background of my weekly forecast. So bear with me, y'all. I'm working with what I got. This week is special, probably intense. I actually myself just re-listened to the Mars special update on YouTube. So if you've missed any of the extra Mars excerpts, I would suggest you look into making time to listen to those. But on that one, I said that the week prior to equinox, things would probably start to intensify again, and I think that's happening. And some of it might be because of the activations we have this week, which is Mercury squaring off with Pluto first, and then Saturn, and then it's going to oppose Mars. So the whole week is technically Mercury's week, which means it's mental. We're doing a lot of processing, but it's also exactly what the season is good for. So let's dive into the details, and we will explore as we go. So it kicks off Monday with Mercury squaring Pluto, and this energy is tough, yet powerful. Its highest expression would be to focus on your own inner deep dig. That's the discovery of consciousness and the development of soul. It enables you to look beneath the surface to some core drive and gain some valuable insights, and thus choose a plan of action based on your findings. You will want to know all the hidden meanings behind decisions you have already made or want to make soon. Dig. You will find more than you think you're ready for, but apparently the universe thinks differently. Pay attention and try not to worry about what anyone else thinks or believes. This energy's flip side is to make you obsess over one particular idea and try to force others to your way of thinking. That is a bottomless pit. You cannot truly change the way other people think. You can only change the way you think and hope it enlightens others along the way. And it will for those who are tuned into your frequency, to your level of consciousness. Try to only focus on you and your direction. Mercury is personal, Pluto's the soul. This is an exploration of anything you've repressed, suppressed, or pushed aside this year. It's not going to work. And there are ways that you can just be prepared as an individual, which means lowering your stress, taking care of your health, being able to respond when and if something comes up. So Mercury is the processor, like I said, and it's fall equinox, so we're entering the season of balance, and we have access to literal physical balance. So it's not a bad idea to do the deep dig and look for what is still alive and breathing that you can build on from this year, because there is a lot of literally scorched land. But we know that renewal follows that. So how can you prepare for the renewal that's coming in 2021? We've already discussed how Mars being backwards is going to restrict us the rest of the year anyway. So processing is about all we can do. But it also helps to get some of that out of the way so that when it's time to make decisions, you're actually ready to make decisions. And you know your heart and you know what you want. So this is the clarification dig. This is what we're going for. We're going to confirm and validate our ideas in various ways to make sure that that's really what we want to do going forward. So that's Monday. Tuesday's equinox, which is the season of integration and stabilization of life. This is when we gather and harvest, basically assess what you've produced and accomplished in the last 6 to 9 months. We evaluate and rectify, which means we assess what worked and what did not work. We balance and integrate, which means we assess what we need to do, have, be more or less of going forward. You know, what do we need to do more of or less of, have more or less of, or be more or less of in order to be effective? That's the ultimate goal. Pause for the cause. Transition times are times to be still, tune in, and prepare for a new season. So at every turn of the wheel, there's 8 times a year we need to pause and process, and Mercury this week is actually helping us with this. Fall equinox, harvest time. Rhythm is a beautiful thing. Taking some time at the turn of each sacred season notifies the universe that you are ready, willing, and able to co-create with Mother Earth. Fall equinox is the time of year to bring all your projects to a close, finish whatever you can, and start looking toward new projects. Balance and integrate what is working and release the rest. If you willingly and lovingly release that which is not working, the next season will go a lot smoother when you go to truly close the year in preparation for a new solar year. So basically, we're at the 7th of 8 seasons. The 8th one falls in the first week of November with the Access the Ancestors, or the Day of the Dead. The celebration of our ancestors happens in that first week of November, and we surrender the last year, and we talk to them, and we ask them for guidance on the upcoming year. So it's a twofer. We close out, and we get ready to initiate, and then we initiate at winter solstice. Harvest is about assessing and gathering all that you created for the year and ultimately reaping the rewards of all your hard work and labor. Some of your harvest will be tangible in that creative projects can and will bear fruit now that they are complete, stable, or in place. And some of your harvest will be intangible as you have further cultivated your own being over the last year, and now you and others can benefit from your personal integration and renewed strength. Renewed connection to balance and this inner alignment with your higher self inspires the goals for the coming season. Fall equinox is a time of balance. It is a time of balance between light and shadow, and it takes us from movement out in the world to more inner work with what you've got energy, using your resources and creations to build on and expand, primarily behind the scenes in preparation for spring initiation 6 months from now. So spring equinox and fall equinox are related. They're also very active times of year. So if you know that, you can sort of consciously prepare. Libra is the sign of the season, and it's ruled by Venus, which reminds us that all life is inextricably connected. Any imbalances affect all life eventually. So as living conscious beings, we strive for balance in all that we think, feel, say, and do. You can access your inner Libra and recenter so you are more effective in your beingness and more useful to life. That is always our goal, is always balance. Earth hangs in this unique little sweet spot in the universe that allows for balance. The only planet like that. And we are built and created in the image of. We were built for balance. We weren't built for extremes. However, because extremes are also part of living here, we know that there are seasons for it. It's not a permanent condition, but there are seasons. And so we prepare ourselves for each season. This is why I follow the wheel and why it has never let me down. Is getting in this rhythm has so helped everything else. So, of course, you know that's why I teach and preach it. So then we have, that's Tuesday. Wednesday, Mercury is going to square off on Saturn. This energy is actually good for deep thinking rather than negotiating with others. So there's another inclination to be alone right now to do your processing, as it is more of a solitary energy, and it can make communications with others a little harder than usual. You may feel like people do not understand what you're trying to convey, or that you're coming across more negative than positive. This is not a good energy for business negotiations unless every detail is very clear to all involved. This energy usually makes you most critical of yourself, but it could trickle over onto others as well. Beware of a tendency toward apathy, pessimism, and or depression. That's Saturn's department. It's basically Saturn and Mercury mixed because Mercury is how you think, so you start thinking very seriously. Saturn wants you to get real. You start realizing what's really possible or not. But it really does make this energy more mental than literal. So, again, back to processing your reality, not necessarily attaching to it. Try to stay focused on all the blessings that you do have and all that you have accomplished instead of what's still on the list of things to do in life. This energy is not intended to make you feel bad about the things left yet to do, but encourage you to begin the necessary steps and be okay with some small measures of progress for now. This energy just makes you focus on the practical side of manifesting. Clear the mental and emotional debris and begin to lay a new, clean, solid foundation beneath your goals and strategize about the details of bringing it to fruition. So we all have these ideas, and we know we've been kind of hijacked in 2020. We're not going to get to do them the way we originally envisioned. So what's the new vision, and how can we discern which goals to pursue? Be very clear about those in your heart and mind and soul, and then the steps to bring them to fruition, little by little. So again, with just because we can't do any action, we should be planning for when we will be able to take action. And in that case, there's still a lot to do. There's behind-the-scenes work to do before you launch the next project, before you start the next routine, before you start the next job, before you whatever. Before you get to spring, there's a lot to be done before that active season makes you want to move again, right? So we're slowing down. We're turning inward for this season in this hemisphere. And I've also warned you that the month before winter, spring, summer, fall, every year is the processing month. And those always fall in the signs of Virgo, Pisces, and Gemini, Sag. So here we are in Virgo, processing, getting ready for fall equinox when the energies begin to shift from Virgo into Libra. But for now, we're still in this zone, and Mercury's last thing is to oppose Mars. So this Libra energy is dominating everything at the moment for this week. So balance is still the end goal. That's our end game, as they say. We want balance in all things. There's probably been something neglected this year, because there's something every year that gets neglected for the rest of life that takes over. But 2020 in particular is a good one to check in and see what's really deficient that you could beef up and make yourself a little stronger to handle whatever comes. That's always the goal. And oppositions are always working things out, so this energy is a mixed blessing. It's time to consider thoughtful action, not impulsive reaction. Feel me? Thoughtful action, not impulsive reaction, which is going to be widely available, so don't contribute to it too. Any opposition requires that we find the balance. In this case, it's between our thoughts and actions. Now, Mars is retrograde, so we already know that our actions are restricted. So this might be a good time to review old actions, how you got here, and what actions did not pan out, and choices, because it's our actions and choices planet. And Mercury's doing this little push to clarify what are the right actions. And the thing to pray up is your own right timing and your intuition to follow that. But anyway, you may swing between extremes of keeping your thoughts or feelings all bottled up inside until they explode, and then spewing every thought that comes into your mind before truly considering why or to whom you're speaking, okay? That's what the Mars energy cranks up inside Mercury and makes it want to express. But because Mars is backwards, it's all frustrated and confused. If you are already imbalanced and experiencing any kind of personal blockage or famine, you may feel a deep need to be heard, which, under pressure, makes you want to tell people what you really think without any filter. Deep breath. The problem is, whether you actually say anything to anyone or not, you still may be giving off angry vibrations, which will likely bring more challenges and contrary people into your realm. And you could end up in an argument either way. So the only way to really control or avoid this type of combative nature, within or without, is to recognize that only the ego needs to be, quote-unquote, heard in this way. Spirit always only seeks peace, and in this case, balance. How has your ego been leading lately? If you are not already imbalanced, but in a strong place, feeling productive and moving forward in your life, then this is a great time to ask those you trust and who can be objective to give you some constructive criticism to help you improve yourself or your position at this time. No matter what, it's a good time to pause before speaking or acting and ask yourself exactly what it is that you would like to express or acquire at this time. Any impulsive, reactive thoughts, words, or deeds are likely to bring more problems than solutions. So I know we can't plaster that on the wall for everybody, but for those of you who get to hear this and get the warning, be mindful of not falling into the trap. There's lots of unconscious people that are going to walk around and spew all this, and that's how this energy goes down. If you're not awake or you're under pressure and you're already got a lot of turmoil inside, it's the catalyst for the implosion. And think of how many things get said in the heat of battle that when you're calmed down, you realize you really wish you hadn't said those things, and now you can't take them back. So it's better to pause for the cause and really clarify what you want out of it. Like, I'm thinking of the situations where people might have done you wrong, whether it was family, friends, or strangers, and you want an apology or you want some recognition for what they've done to you. But even if you get that, what does it change? What does it serve? It's usually ego that wants that out of someone else, because truly it's always you, so you have to go back internal to what you can control, and a lot of times it is not other people. I can just tell you that. So finding your balance that helps you not be reactive but does help you be responsive, that's what we're asking for this season, and you've got 6 weeks to cultivate it. We are going to celebrate. Shanta is on her mystic voyage between the West Coast and the East Coast, and so if she is in a dimension where she can communicate with us, she will be with us to close with a prayer. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about the season and the energies and a little bit of a heads up for the next 6 weeks of what we have to deal with. And if she can't be there for the prayer, we'll probably do a rattle journey. That's been pretty popular lately. And that will be Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, and it will be a conference call. So you can register for that on the blog or on my website for the Fall Equinox Gathering, which everyone is welcome. We do ask for a donation of $22 if you can. That's wonderful. If you can't and you need the energy, come on. That's what it's for. This is community time. At the turn of the seasons is when we gather, and Shanta and I specifically, do blend our circles at winter, spring, summer, fall. Let's fuel up together. Let's rebalance together. Let's be together to do this, right? And the last thing I want to say is I am making a huge effort to get back to Instagram Live on Tuesdays. So I'm curious if anyone's missing me and wants me back, because Tuesday the 29th, which is not this week, it'll be next week. Right now this forecast is the 20th to the 26th. So I'm talking about the following week on Tuesday the 29th. I might come back live to Instagram. So I'd love to hear from you. A couple of people just email me and let me know that you would love to either be there live or get the replay. I believe now if it's on IGTV, it stays up all the time rather than the stories, which are only 24 hours. I'm working on that. I think Margie will eventually be back, but she is still busy moving and dealing with life in California, which is lots of fires and challenges. So we're sending her love and prayers for her safe journey to her new dimension. So she can rejoin us because I miss her. But I'll probably hook up with Sister Shaman, and I'm also looking for volunteers for someone who would help me with that. Instagram Live would be better for me if somebody could run the chat part for me. So if there's one of you that loves Instagram and is there all the time and wouldn't mind being my co-host, I'm thinking about trying to rotate it and make it different people all the time so that nobody has to commit per se. But let's talk. Let me hear from you. I'm curious. Like I said, if you're missing me and want me back there, I am happy to go back. I miss it. I miss doing the little weekly cards for you and being live and spontaneous. I do a lot of things, and everything is pretty structured, like the forecast and my classes and things. But that Tuesday was really fun for me, and all I needed was the summer break. So I'm trying to come back for fall and see it through for the rest of the year. And if it really is fun and we take off and we're consistent, then the new year I have a plan to make it even more interesting and fun to be there and to play together live, which is what I really wanted in 2020, I got to tell you. The Instagram Live is the closest thing I've come to getting it because I haven't been able to do live workshops or seminars or retreats and things that I had scheduled. I scheduled things this year for in-person because I've been online for 20 years. But it was okay. It's okay. I'm rolling with it like everybody else, right? But the in-person thing means a lot to me, and I would love to connect with you all directly. So if Instagram Live is your thing, reach out to me directly, and let's cook something up fun to do for the rest of the year. Okay, that's it for this week. I hope you can join us live for Equinox. Otherwise, you can also register to get the replay and reach out if you need to. That special for my Astro Tarot reading is still going on through September and probably October. But for now, thanks for listening. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and I am so grateful for your time, energy, and support. Please share this with those you think would resonate and reach out if and when you need to. Kelly at KarmicTools.com. The goal of my weekly forecast is to alert you to the energies and activations that we're all experiencing and the possibilities for conscious co-creation as an individual. Awareness of the energies is the first key, but I invite you to take it to the next level by checking out my readings, telecircles, and subscriptions, which are all geared toward individual support that helps you understand your own unique blueprint. My specialty is cycles and patterns, and I love helping people figure out their own within the context of the social and collective rhythm. To some, working with their own cycles and patterns is a completely new and foreign concept. But there are many planetary cycles that coincide with natural life cycles that allow us to co-create in mystical as well as practical ways. I create custom tools that I've tried and tested myself for almost 40 years, and I do the work alongside my circle every time. So I hope you will reach out if you feel called to dive deeper into your own soul's natural rhythm. Talk to you soon. One love.